President Bola Tinubu has instructed the Nigerian military to eliminate banditry in 2025, according to the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mohammed Matawale. The government plans to deploy additional troops and military equipment to the northwest zone. Matawale says the military is focused on tackling the challenge of informants within local communities who aid bandits, hindering efforts to combat the threats. Insurgency in Nigeria, primarily driven by Boko Haram and its offshoot ISWAP, has significantly impacted the country, especially in the northeast. The conflict began in 2009 and has since escalated, resulting in widespread violence, displacement, and loss of life. As of 2024, an estimated 350,000 people have been killed due to insurgency. Over 2.5 million people have been displaced, particularly in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states, which remain the epicenters of violence. Joining us right now to discuss the lingering insurgency in Nigeria and how realistic President Tinubu's deadline is to the military, or for the military to end it by 2025, is Group Captain Sadeeq Shehu, former spokesman for the Air Force. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday, and Merry Christmas.
Good afternoon and Merry Christmas to the viewers.
Of course. Let's begin. Now, how realistic is this 2025 deadline, given the evolving nature of insurgents' tactics?
Thank you very much. Now, while it is good for the president to sound optimistic, however, when you look at the fact that we have been fighting this insurgency for 15 years now, insurgency, not only insurgency, there is banditry, there are other kidnapping issues, schools attack, and the rest. I like the president sounding optimistic, but realistically, can we say something that we have not been able to do for 15 years, passing through 3 sets of governments? It's something that can be eliminated by the year that is starting in the next week. Unfortunately, I would have to say no. I also listened to what you said from the Minister of State for Defense, that the president has said eliminate banditry by 2025. Now, whatever project, whether economic project, whether security project, you have to give an objective that is smart, something that is measurable, something that is time-bound, something that is measurable. I mean, that is relevant and also achievable. When you say eliminate banditry, that is neither here nor there. First, it may not be achievable. Secondly, it needs to be smart. You have to establish clear objectives, define specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant and time-bound smarts for the security operations and the security agencies. For example, we've had the NBS report, which you have quoted. Now, we can take that as a baseline. And then the president is, by the middle of next year, or by the first quarter of next year, I want you people, whether it is military, whether it is police, whether it is DSS, to reduce the numbers as given to us by National Bureau of Statistics, reduce it by 30% or reduce it by 40%. So now you have given them a time. Unfortunately, not only this government, even the previous governments, it is not what we have been doing. We have not been given a clear objective to the security agencies. We will eliminate by 2025. It's not going to be possible. But if we can have a reasonable reduction so that NBS at the end of or at the middle of 2025 will give us a figure that is less horrendous than the one that we have. So this is what I find. The president has spoken through the Minister of State, but honest, the statement is neither here nor there. Just eliminate banditry is not there. You have to give them clear objectives. You have to develop clear, comprehensive data collection system, because even the NBS figures are being disputed, sometimes by government agencies, sometimes by NGOs. I don't want to question, as a researcher, if they say there is a National Bureau of Statistics of any country and they give me figures, I think I need to lend credence to those figures because it is a government agency. So what we should be doing, which we have not been doing, is to give time-bound, measurable objectives to the, to the security agencies, which we have not been doing. Establish key performance indicators for them. I want to see the number of refugees or IDPs reduced by so percent. I want to see the number of insurgents captured or killed increased by so percent. I want to see the number of kidnappings reduced by so percent. And by this time, if we don't do that, then honest, all we are having is a political statement, which we do respect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done, even the president before him have done. Every year we're having a new. When we have a particular setback, the National Assembly will call the service chiefs or the Inspector General, we are passing a vote of no confidence, but then there is not any clear objectives or key performance indicators given to them. What I am saying here is that while the security agencies are actually trying their best, but even as a former security man, I have to say the duty of the political masters is to keep track, is to oversight the security agencies and ask them to account for what they have been doing. Unfortunately, that is an area that is not being done in this country. So we have to have that change. I also hear from your background saying that the Minister of State also said the government is going to add more equipment. Again, as a military strategist, honest, I have my issue with how we even purchase equipment. What metrics do we use to purchase? It's not every equipment that is convenient for the armed forces. So, but what I see is that, whenever any equipment is demanded, we just go and buy it. Now, the military as a body will make a request. But I think, and this is an advice to the federal government, the government should have an objective, independent body that tells them this kind of equipment, is it what we need? Is that where the money is supposed to go? Because, honest, when you look at the budget that we have been spending since for 15 years now, security is almost, if not first, second or third in the order of priority.
Well,
and when
Captain,
we are talking about budget, we are talking about security. Everybody knows, or at least people know. It is not only the budget that you see in the national budget in the National Assembly. You know, there is a lot of off-budget releases done. So if we are to sit down and calculate what we have been spending on security, honestly, the amount is going to be very, very humongous.
Group Captain.
But do we follow the money? We don't follow the money.
Allow me to interrupt you. Going on that same train of thought, what role does technology play within this security architecture? And also, in order for us to keep to the deadline, and also the roles of regional allies?
Well, technology is always a force multiplier for any military operation or any security operation. However, we should not unnecessarily think that, technology is a silver bullet that will solve all the problem. At the end of the scale, you still need right-thinking commanders, right-thinking human elements that will even interpret what the technology is bringing. And also, technology has also setback. Because technology, sometimes it lulls you into taking precautionary measures. When we talk of technology, like for example, for drones, we've been having serious, collateral damage with drones. So what does that tell you? Even the drone has to be used intelligently by the operator. It's not that the drone has a brain of its own. It has some features that will make you collect information, but interpreting and actually how you carry the operation, the human element is always there. Talking about regional cooperation, unfortunately, again, this government came in to have problems with our regional allies. When you look at our security situations, it has to do with our neighbors. International relations experts, I think since the time of maybe Shagari, they have talked about this concentric circles, starting with Nigeria, starting with immediate neighbors. We must do all efforts, to have a friendly relations with the neighboring nation. If we don't have friendly relations with Chad, with Niger, with Benin Republic and the rest, certainly what happens to them is going to spill over there, or the bad guys here can always seek refuge in those countries. So the role of allies is very, very important. Nothing is too much for Nigeria to maintain friendly relationships. The multinational joint task force, since the advent of ECOWAS versus Niger Republic, we have been having problems. We have to find ways of smoothing out those relationships, because what affects them affects us. And, whatever, if we don't have those, glitches smoothened out, we'll continue to have problems.
Well, Group Captain, it was great to have you this afternoon here on Newsday. Once again, thank you for joining us, and Merry Christmas.